At one point, programming Swift, you're going to have to do some form of repetitive loop to maybe do this loop based upon specific criteria so many times. And then within inside of the loop, you're going to increment or decrement some value in order to tell your code whether or not you should continue to do it and whether you should break out of that one loop. Now in this example, we have a variable up here of x, so it's mutable because it's var, and it has its initial value of 0. And then we have this constant, this immutable value, or a variable called max, and that is set currently to 5. And then we're just going to repeat this code block, right, all the time whilst x, the value of x, is less than max, all right? So this would mean 0 is less than max, 1 is less than max, 2 is less than max, 3 is less than max, 4 is less than max, and 5 is not less than max. So break out when x is more than or equal to 5, all right? So when we look at this code block right now, could we make it simpler is the question. And so we're printing out the number x every single time it loops. And then we're going to set number equal to, remember number is private to this one code block, is equal to x plus 1. So we're taking the current value of x, and then we're making a new expression. So we're saying what is x plus 1, and then using the assignment operator, we're assigning that value to number. And we're creating an immutable variable of number, and then we are assigning the value of number to x. So x is being updated with the new number. So let's just run this down the bottom, and you can see it basically pumps out number 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the program ends, and it never gets to pump out the number or print out the number 5. So we can basically just remove this whole sentence, this whole line. Let's just comment it out for reference. And all we have to do is here, we could just say x plus 1 by not declaring this one number, and this would work exactly the same as well. And if we build and run it, you'll see it does exactly the same thing. Now, ultimately, we want to say x should just plus by 1, or whatever let's just say the increment is. It is then 1. So we just want to increment it by this one variable here. And we can do this by removing this totally and by saying x is now equal to its own value plus whatever this is here. So this plus equal sign is saying I want you to plus this value of the left hand side to this, and now reset my value to that one value. So it's basically saying the same thing as this, but it's very much a shorthand version of it. And when we build and run this once again, the exact same happens. Now, we could then turn around and say when this is max is 25, right, and increment it's 5 this time, right? And we could then change this to a start. So we're saying the first time it goes round, we need to set it to 1. So 1, so x is going to be equal to 1 first of all, and all the time x is less than or equal to max is 25. So the first time this goes through, the value is going to be 1 times by, right, the value of x already, right, times by increment, all right? So this is going to be, x is going to be the value of increment times by the initial value of x. And so let's have a look at what this actually does. And you can see here that it goes num1 and num5. Now, what about if we say change this to 26 and see what happens now? And you can see here now that we can use the multiplication sign, the asterisk sign, to basically do multiplication too. So at the first time it was 1, then it went to 5, then it went to 25. Now this works the same with subtraction and also division as well. But you obviously got to be careful that you don't divide by 0, etc., etc. So a couple more checks need to be put into place. So this is basically just a shorthand method of doing this as an expression, and that is basically it. And like I said, you can use the addition, the subtraction, the division, the multiplication to do all of these things. With that said, I hope that this has been helpful for you to understand what compound assignment operators are and how you would use them, and possibly when you would use them too. The repeat while block, we haven't been over yet, but it's just, you have to take it for granted. Just trust me of what it does. All right. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and if you have any questions or feedback or concerns, then place them in the comment section down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.